Welcome to Star Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most beloved icons. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're shining the spotlight on the one and only Johnny Cash, a man whose deep baritone voice and poignant songwriting continue to captivate audiences to this day. As we step into the world of Johnny Cash, we find ourselves in the rural landscapes of Kingsland, Arkansas, where he was born on February 26, 1932. The air was thick with the scent of freshly picked cotton, and the sounds of the Mississippi Delta blues drifted through the air, carried by the whispers of the wind. J.R. Cash, as he was known to his family, entered the world during a time of great turmoil. The Great Depression had left its mark on the small farming community where Johnny grew up, and his parents, Ray and Carrie Cash, struggled to make ends meet. Their modest home, with its dirt floors and lack of indoor plumbing, was a far cry from the luxurious lifestyles of Hollywood stars, but it was here that Johnny's love affair with music began. As a young boy, Johnny would often sit by the radio, mesmerized by the sounds of Jimmie Rodgers and the Carter Family. The crackling static and warm tones of the radio brought the outside world into their humble home, and Johnny's imagination would run wild with stories of far-off lands and exotic characters. His mother, Carrie, a devout Christian with a voice like honey and gold, would often sing hymns and folk songs to her children, instilling in Johnny a deep appreciation for the power of music to comfort, inspire, and uplift. She'd sing about the struggles of everyday life, of love and loss, of hope and redemption. The Cash family's strong faith and musical traditions would later become cornerstones of Johnny's artistry, shaping his unique sound and informing his unwavering commitment to social justice. Growing up in the rural South during the 1930s and 1940s, Johnny was exposed to the harsh realities of poverty, racism, and inequality. The Cash family's experiences as sharecroppers, working tirelessly to eke out a living from the land, had a profound impact on Johnny's worldview. He'd watch as his father, Ray, a hard-working man with a quick temper, struggled to provide for his family, and the tensions at home often ran high. The sound of his father's worn boots scraping against the dirt floor, the smell of sweat and tobacco, and the sight of his mother's calloused hands would become etched in Johnny's memory, shaping his understanding of the world and its many injustices. Despite these challenges, Johnny's parents instilled in him a strong sense of morality and compassion, which would serve as a guiding force throughout his life. As Johnny entered his teenage years, he began to develop a passion for writing and music. He'd often scribble lyrics in a notebook, drawing inspiration from the world around him, the people, the landscapes, and the struggles. His early songs reflected his fascination with the storytelling traditions of folk music, as well as his growing interest in the emerging genre of country music. With the support of his family, Johnny began to perform at local gatherings and events, slowly honing his craft and building a reputation as a talented young musician. He'd play at church socials, community centers, and even on the streets of Kingsland, his deep voice and charismatic stage presence drawing in crowds of all ages. The early 1950s saw Johnny's life take a dramatic turn. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Air Force, seeking adventure, stability, and the chance to escape the hardships of his rural upbringing. Stationed in West Germany, Johnny formed his first band, the Landsberg Barbarians, with fellow servicemen. It was during this period that he began to develop his unique sound, blending elements of country, rockabilly, and folk to create a style that would soon captivate audiences across the globe. The experience of being stationed in a foreign land, surrounded by the ruins of war and the uncertainty of the Cold War era, had a profound impact on Johnny's music and worldview. The seeds of his iconic songs, such as I Walk the Line and Folsom Prison Blues, were sown in these early years, and the struggles he faced would later become the fuel for his most powerful performances. As Johnny settled in Memphis, Tennessee, he began to pursue a career in music with renewed vigor. The city's vibrant music scene, which had given birth to legendary artists like Elvis Presley and B.B. King, provided the perfect backdrop for Johnny to hone his craft. It was during this period that he met Sam Phillips, the visionary founder of Sun Records, who would play a pivotal role in launching Johnny's career. Phillips, with his keen ear for talent and innovative production techniques, saw something special in Johnny, a unique voice that could convey the emotions and struggles of the common man. On July 30th, 1955, Johnny recorded his first single, Hey Porter, at Sun Studios, a small, unassuming building on Union Avenue that would become synonymous with the birth of rock and roll. The session was a defining moment in Johnny's career as he poured his heart and soul into the recording, laying the groundwork for his future success. The song's themes of love, longing, and restlessness resonated deeply with listeners, and it wasn't long before Johnny was back in the studio, recording the iconic Cry, Cry, Cry in September of the same year. These early recordings showcased Johnny's remarkable ability to craft songs that were both deeply personal and universally relatable. In 1956, Johnny released his breakthrough single, I Walk the Line, which shot to the top of the Billboard charts, staying at #1 for an astonishing 43 weeks. The song's haunting melody and poignant lyrics, which spoke to the pain of love and the struggle to remain faithful, cemented Johnny's reputation as a rising star in the music world. He soon found himself touring with other notable artists of the time, including Elvis Presley, Carl Perkins, and Jerry Lee Lewis, forming lasting bonds and creating unforgettable memories along the way. One such memory was forged on December 4th, 1956, when Johnny participated in the now famous $1 Million Quartet jam session at Sun Studios, alongside his friends and fellow musical legends. The impromptu gathering, which was captured on tape by Sam Phillips, has become an enduring symbol of the era's creative ferment and camaraderie. As the four musicians traded songs, jokes, and stories, they created a truly magical atmosphere, one that would be remembered for generations to come. As the 1950s drew to a close, Johnny's star continued to rise. He released a string of successful singles, including Don't Take Your Guns to Town and The Ballad of Ira Hayes, which demonstrated his growing mastery of storytelling through song. These songs, with their vivid characters and morally complex themes, showcased Johnny's unique ability to craft narratives that were both deeply personal and universally relatable. In 1958, he signed with Columbia Records, marking the beginning of a long and fruitful partnership that would yield some of his most iconic recordings. Johnny's first album for Columbia, The Fabulous Johnny Cash, was released in 1958 to critical acclaim, featuring a mix of original compositions and traditional folk songs. The album's eclectic blend of styles, which ranged from country to gospel to rockabilly, reflected Johnny's boundless creativity and his willingness to experiment with different sounds. As he navigated the rapidly changing musical landscape of the late 1950s, Johnny remained true to his artistic vision, refusing to be pigeonholed or constrained by genre boundaries. Throughout the early 1960s, Johnny's music became increasingly infused with social commentary and activism. He began to perform at prisons, including his legendary concert at Folsom Prison on January 13, 1968, which was recorded live and released as an album. This event not only showcased Johnny's unique ability to connect with audiences from all walks of life, but also highlighted his commitment to using his platform for social justice. As he once said, "I think the most important thing I've done is to try to help people, to try to make them feel less alone." This sense of empathy and solidarity would become a hallmark of Johnny's career, inspiring countless fans and fellow artists alike. Johnny's personal life was also undergoing significant changes during this period. In 1966, he met June Carter, a talented singer-songwriter and member of the legendary Carter family. The two began touring together, and their romance blossomed on the road, amidst the chaos and excitement of Johnny's hectic schedule. They married in 1968, and June became not only Johnny's partner in life, but also his closest musical collaborator. Together, they created some of Johnny's most beloved songs, including Jackson and If I Were a Carpenter, which spoke to the joys and challenges of their relationship. June's influence on Johnny's music was profound, as she encouraged him to explore new themes and styles, and to push the boundaries of his creativity. Her own musical talents, which had been honed through years of performing with her family, brought a new level of sophistication and depth to Johnny's recordings. As they worked together, Johnny and June formed a partnership that was both personal and artistic, one that would endure for the rest of their lives. The recording of At Folsom Prison was a masterclass in emotional connection, with Johnny's voice cracking with conviction as he sang about the struggles and hardships faced by those behind bars. The album's opening track, Folsom Prison Blues, set the tone for the entire performance, with Johnny's booming voice and strumming guitar weaving a spell of hope and redemption over the captive audience. As the album's popularity soared, Johnny became an unlikely champion of social justice, using his platform to raise awareness about the plight of prisoners and the need for reform. The success of At Folsom Prison was soon followed by another live recording, At San Quentin, which further solidified Johnny's reputation as a voice for the marginalized. This album, released in 1969, featured a more subdued tone, with Johnny's music taking on a somber, reflective quality that seemed to capture the mood of a nation torn apart by conflict and social unrest. As he sang about love, loss, and redemption, Johnny's voice became a balm for the soul, offering comfort and solace to those struggling to find their place in a chaotic world. As the years went by, Johnny continued to tour and record music, always pushing the boundaries of his creativity and exploring new themes in his work. Despite struggling with health issues and addiction, he remained committed to his craft, releasing several critically acclaimed albums throughout the 1980s and 1990s. One of the most significant events of Johnny's later life was his collaboration with producer Rick Rubin, which resulted in the album American Recordings in 1994. As Johnny himself said, "I'm just an old chunk of coal, but I'm trying to be a diamond," reflecting his ongoing quest for artistic growth and self-improvement. The recording sessions for American Recordings were a defining moment in Johnny's career, as he stripped away the layers of production and instrumentation that had become synonymous with his music. Working with Rubin, Johnny created an intimate, haunting sound that seemed to capture the essence of his being. The album's opening track, Delia's Gone, set the tone for the entire record, with Johnny's voice cracking with emotion as he sang about love, loss, and regret. The success of American Recordings was followed by several more albums with Rubin, including Unchained and American IV, The Man Comes Around. These records featured Johnny's interpretations of songs by artists such as Tom Waits, Nick Cave, and 9 Inch Nails, demonstrating his boundless curiosity and willingness to explore new musical landscapes. In 2003, Johnny released American IV, The Man Comes Around, which included his haunting cover of the 9 Inch Nails song, Hurt. This video, directed by Mark Romanek, is a poignant reflection on Johnny's life and legacy, featuring images from his past and present. The video for Hurt is a masterclass in storytelling, with Johnny's voice and presence weaving a narrative that is both deeply personal and universally relatable. As he sings about regret, redemption, and the passage of time, Johnny's eyes seem to hold a deep sadness, as if he is confronting the ghosts of his past and the weight of his own mortality. The video's use of archival footage and images from Johnny's life adds a sense of depth and context, creating a powerful tribute to his legacy and a reminder of the enduring power of his music. Johnny Cash passed away on September 12, 2003, just 4 months after the death of his beloved wife, June. His legacy, however, continues to inspire and influence artists across genres, from country and rock to hip-hop and beyond. Today, Johnny Cash is remembered not only as a brilliant musician, but also as a complex and multifaceted individual whose life was marked by both triumph and struggle. His commitment to social justice, his empathy for the marginalized, and his unwavering dedication to his craft have left an indelible mark on American music and culture. His legacy continues to grow, with new generations of artists and musicians drawing on his influence and pushing the boundaries of their own creativity. In the end, Johnny Cash's story is one of redemption, forgiveness, and the transformative power of art. It is a reminder that even in the darkest moments there is always hope, always a chance for renewal and rebirth. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Casey Gold reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.